Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we will discuss the second portion, the second type of beta-lactam antibiotics, that is cephalosporins and cefamycins. Cephalosporins, cefamycins, they are quite similar compounds or similar drugs with one little exception that there is little change in the chemical structure of two cephalosporins, that is cefoxitin and cefotetin. So just because these two cephalosporins, they do not share the parent chemical structure of cephalosporins, that's why they are included in a very short subcategory which is labeled as cefamycins. Otherwise, the mechanism and the antibacterial spectrum and other kinetics and dynamics, they are quite similar, just like the cephalosporins. So आपने confuse नहीं करना cefamycins को सुन के. This is the brief classification of cephalosporins. आप सबने देख ली होगी. We divide these cephalosporins into 4 generations, first, second, third and fourth. अब इसमें मैं आपको छोटा सा पॉइंट क्लियर कर दूं कि जब हम बात कर रहे थे पेनिसिलिन्स की, तो पेनिसिलिन्स के अंदर हमने बात की थी कि हमारे पास 3 तरह की पेनिसिलिन होती है, नेचुरल, एंटीस्टेफिलोकोकल एंड देन एक्सटेंडेड स्पेक्ट्रम. तो जैसे जैसे हम क्लासिफिकेशन में आगे बढ़ते गए, वैसे वैसे पेनिसिलिन्स की इफेक्टिवनेस बढ़ती गई. लाइक नेचुरल पेनिसिलिन्स, दे वर highly effective against gram-positive organisms, and the anti-staphylococcal, they were effective against gram-positive staphylococci and some streptococci, including those strains also which were producing the beta-lactamases. जब हम आगे गए extended spectrum पे, तो उसमें फिर हमने बात की कि apart from gram-positive organisms, these extended spectrum penicillins, they are effective against gram-negative organisms also. ऐसे ही जैसे हम आगे आगे बढ़ते जाएंगे in the classification of cephalosporins from first to fourth generation, then the effectiveness of the cephalosporins, it will keep on rising. हर नई जनरेशन पुरानी वाले से बेहतर होगी. ये हम बात करेंगे कि जी कैसे कैसे बेहतर हो सकती हैं. Cephalosporins, they are quite similar to the penicillins in many aspects. For example, they have similar chemical nucleus inside their chemical structure. Penicillins, they contain 6 amino penicillinic acid, whereas cephalosporins, they contain 7 amino cephalosporanic acid. So this is the difference of the 6 and 7 position only. Otherwise, the beta-lactam ring, it is same in penicillins and cephalosporins. So that's the one similarity. But the next level activity or the next level thing about the cephalosporin is that they are much more stable to many bacterial beta-lactamase enzymes as compared to penicillins. So that's why we say that cephalosporins, they are ahead of penicillins. They are better than penicillins while treating the serious life-threatening infections because they have extended properties. हम बात करेंगे आहिस्ता आहिस्ता. बट एक चीज जो आपने एंड तक याद रखनी है while discussing the cephalosporins, that is they are not active against Listeria monocytogenes and Enterococci. Enterococci, these are the gram-negative organisms which are residing inside the enteric tract. ठीक है, शेप में राउंड होते हैं, that's why they are called cocci. They are living in the enteric tract, they are enterococci, but they are gram-negative in nature. So beta-lactamase antibiotics, they are precisely and more effectively disturbing towards gram-positive organisms, but certain extended spectrum antibiotics belonging to beta-lactam class, they are also effective against gram-negative organisms also. There is one exception to this rule, that is ceftaroline. Ceftaroline, it has some activity, not good activity. It has some activity against Enterococci. So for the treatment of Enterococci, we prefer other antibiotics. For example, fluoroquinolones. हम इंशाल्लाह पढ़ेंगे आगे. तो Enterococci को ये इतना अच्छा कवर नहीं करते. क्योंकि ग्राम नेगेटिव के अगेंस्ट बीटा-लैक्टम एंटीबायोटिक्स की एफिकेसी होती तो है, लेकिन बहुत अच्छी नहीं होती. केमिस्ट्री बात कर ली हमने. So mechanism of action, it is similar to penicillins. There is no need to go into the details. You all know very well that they will block the manufacturing of peptidoglycans in the bacterial cell wall by binding with the penicillin binding proteins. They call cell wall synthesis inhibition, and that's why they are bactericidal in nature. Because when there will be no protective coat, when there will be no rigid, tough cell wall around the organism, the cell will die. So they are bactericidal in nature. Never ever think that they are bacteriostatic. कि cell wall synthesis को inhibit कर रहे हैं, they will cause the stasis in the growth of the bacteria. Yes, they do cause stasis, but they cause killing of the bacteria also. Next, so we will discuss one by one. ठीक, लेक्चर बहुत छोटा सा है आज, 30 मिनट्स में खत्म कर लेंगे. Today we will discuss only cephalosporins because they are extremely important. Okay, first of all, the first generation cephalosporins. The first generation cephalosporins, they are very active. ठीक है, very को मैंने रेड में लिखा हुआ है. They are very active. Symbol active. They are very active against gram-positive cocci such as streptococci and staphylococci. Active तो penicillins भी होती है ना, but they are much more better than penicillins. That's why they are very active against gram-positive organisms. Apart from these gram-positive organisms, they are also active against E. coli, Klebsiella pneumoniae, and Proteus mirabilis, and they are also active against some anaerobic cocci, not all, but some. And these some they include Peptococci and Peptostreptococci. But the one exception is that they are not effective against Bacteroides flagellis. Bacteroides flagellis is the anaerobe, and it is the organism which causes diverticulitis, which causes peritonitis. So these are the infections of the abdomen. So Bacteroides flagellis, it is very, very bad organism. Next is regarding the kinetics. The kinetics of cephalosporins, they are quite similar to penicillins. That is, they are freely filtered by the kidney and they are excreted by the kidney via two processes, just like penicillins, glomerular filtration and the tubular secretion. And just like penicillins, probenecid, it can increase the serum levels of cephalosporins. So always be very careful while prescribing cephalosporins, and those must be reduced in persons who are suffering from renal failure. We have only one parental agent in the first generation category. First generation हम आजकल बहुत कम use करते हैं. Why? Because we have a better spectrum cephalosporins like third and fourth generation. But somehow कुछ uses हैं इनके first generation के जो हम इनको अभी भी utilize कर रहे हैं. So cefazolin is the only parental first generation cephalosporin. It can be given IM and it can be given IV. So what are the different clinical uses of cefazolin? Treatment of UTI caused by staphylococci, and it can be also given to the infections caused by streptococci. And this is the antibiotic, although it is the inferior class in all the cephalosporins. The first generation है कोई खास लिफ्टाता नहीं है, but even then, being inferior, even then they are much more better than penicillins. Penicillins, we have a special category of penicillins which is called as anti-staphylococcal penicillins. But किसी point पे अगर कोई infection, staphylococcal infection, anti-staphylococcal penicillin से treat ना हो रहा हो, then we go for the first generation cephalosporins. As you can see, the first line, that staphylococcal or streptococcal infections which require intravenous therapy. ठीक है, because we have anti-staphylococcal penicillins which are available in oral form. If they are unable to treat the staphylococcal infection, then we switch toward the IV first generation cefazolin. It is beyond the penicillins, but it has limitation क्योंकि first generation की है, इसकी बहुत ज़्यादा good properties नहीं होंगी. It cannot cross the blood-brain barrier, so that's why it cannot be used to treat the meningitis. But it can be used in patients with penicillin allergy. अब एक patient हो उसके अंदर हमें documented हो कि that person is allergic to penicillin. Usually cephalosporins, they are not given to patients who are allergic to penicillins because penicillin and cephalosporin, they are close. by cross allergic, I mean to say that if the person is sensitive to penicillin, then he will be sensitive to cephalosporin, and if the person is sensitive to cephalosporin, then there are chances that that person is also sensitive to the penicillins. But even then, cefazolin can be given in persons who are sensitive to penicillins, but the sensitive to penicillin, but this sensitivity should be mild. If the person has immediate hypersensitivity reaction due to penicillin, then obviously we will not give the cefazolin because of fear of cross allergic reactions. Cefazolin has one great use, that is drug of choice for surgical prophylaxis. ठीक है, इससे पहले मैं थोड़ा सा पीछे स्लाइड में जाऊंगा, ठीक है, ताकि आप रिपीट कर एक आप रेपिटेशन कर लें. Please read the first line of this slide. The first line of this slide says that cefazolin is used for treatment of UTIs and for staphylococcal and streptococcal infections which require intravenous therapy. It means मैंने बहुत डिटेल में बात कर ली है कि एंटी स्टेफिलोकोकल पेनिसिलिन जहाँ पे एंड हो जाए वहाँ पे फिर हम ये लेके आते हैं सिफेजुलिन. तो यहाँ पे सबसे पहले क्वेश्चन ये आता है कि why is there a need of surgical prophylaxis and why penicillins they cannot be used for this purpose. देखिए जब भी हम कोई सर्जरी परफॉर्म करते हैं then we cause then what we do is that we cause breach in the integrity or structure of the skin. सबसे पहले skin तो काटनी है ना हमने, and I'm sure that every one of you knows that staphylococci they are the normal flora of skin. Staphylococcus aureus is also present on the skin. Staphylococcus epidermidis, उसका तो नाम ही epidermidis है. It is also present on the skin. They are also present in the nose nasal flora. तो जब भी हम skin को कट लगाते हैं, then these organisms they go into our body because we are interrupting the first line defense barrier, which is the skin on outer surface and mucosa on the inner surface. चाहे आप अंदर सर्जरी कर रहे हैं बॉडी के, चाहे बाहर सर्जरी कर रहे हैं, you have to clear the first line defense. ठीक है, तो हम क्या करते हैं, हम फिर एंटी स्टेफिलोकोकल ट्रीटमेंट देते हैं. अभी मैंने बात की कि एंटी स्टेफिलोकोकल पेनिसिलिन तो हमारे पास हैं, they can be given as surgical prophylaxis, but first generation cephalosporin and among them cefazolin, which is available in the IV form, it is extremely better against the staphylococci and some streptococci. So that's the reason why we do not use penicillins and why we use cefazolin for the surgical prophylaxis in every surgical patient. Secondly, एक मैंने साइड पे लाइन लिखी है, राइट साइड पे आप इसमें रीड कर सकते हैं. Cefazolin it is better tolerated than anti-staphylococcal penicillins and is much more effective for prophylaxis. So these are two reasons. That's why we prefer cefazolin over penicillins for the surgical prophylaxis against staphylococci. So cefazolin is the drug of choice. Please remember this. 100% कह रहा हूँ, ये MCQ आपको मैं दूंगा जब भी इस चैप्टर का टेस्ट होगा. Cefazolin is very very important. इसका यही यूज भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. Valocept, cephradine. I have rarely seen that if the surgeon or if the physician is prescribing Valocept nowadays. Why? Because we have much more good cephalosporins, second generation, third generation, even fourth generation. किसी जमाने में cephradine ने आके revolutionize किया था ट्रीटमेंट को. It was very effective drug for gram positive infections. But nowadays we have much more good antibiotics. बहुत कम prescribe होती है. Although it is available in the market, but it is rarely prescribed nowadays. Cephalexin is also very good drug, but less prescribed. So now we come towards the second generation cephalosporin. तो अब जब हम नेक्स्ट जनरेशन पे जा रहे हैं, तो ऑब्वियसली हमने जो सेकंड जनरेशन cephalosporins हैं उनके अंदर कुछ ऐसी चेंजेस की होंगी कि वो फर्स्ट जनरेशन से बेटर हो जाए. जब फर्स्ट जनरेशन से बेटर हो जाएंगी तो स्पेक्ट्रम भी उनका बेटर हो जाएगा. कैसे बेटर होगा जी? प्लीज रीड द फर्स्ट टू लाइंस. These antibiotics they are active against organisms which are already inhibited by first generation drugs, and additionally they have extended gram negative coverage. अब बीटा लैक्टिक एंटीबायोटिक्स हैं, सेल्वासिंसिस को इनहिबिट करेंगे तो ग्राम पॉजिटिव के अगेंस्ट इफेक्टिव होंगे. What we need is that we need extended spectrum coverage against gram negative organisms. For that purpose we manufactured second generation cephalosporins. Klebsiella species, including those resistant to first generation cephalosporin, they are usually sensitive. तो second generation है तो next level की बात होगी. कि जो चीज फर्स्ट जनरेशन नहीं कर रही उसको कौन करेगा जी, सेकंड जनरेशन, एंड ऑब्वियसली जो चीज सेकंड जनरेशन नहीं करेगी उसको कौन कवर करेगा, थर्ड जनरेशन. तो cefuroxime and cefaclor, they are active against Haemophilus influenzae, but एक्टिव और गेस्टिया और पे देन आ गई. लिमिटेशन क्या आई, एच इन्फ्लुएंजा को हमने कवर कर लिया. एच इन्फ्लुएंजा इट इज वेरी बैड organism. This H influenza, it also causes influenza. Influenza तो करेगा, but the important thing is that it causes meningitis. And cefuroxime, it is good for the treatment of infections caused by H influenza. But cefuroxime, it is not active against Bacteroides fragilis. अगर आपको याद हो तो फर्स्ट जनरेशन के अंदर भी यही प्रॉब्लम था कि some anaerobic cocci के अगेंस्ट एक्टिव थी फर्स्ट जनरेशन सेफलोस्पोरेंस, बट बैक्टीरियोइड फ्लैजेलेस को कवर अप नहीं मिल रहा था. इसका मतलब है कि बैक्टीरियोइड अभी तक भी हमसे ट्रीट नहीं हो रहा टिल द लेवल ऑफ सेकंड जनरेशन सेफलोस्पोरेंस. हम भी क्या करते हैं जी, हमने फिर सीफामाइसिन्स बना ली. मैंने कहा कि सीफामाइसिन्स जो होती हैं, हमारे पास दो ही सेफलोस्पोरेंस हैं, सिफुजाइटिन एंड सिफुटेटिन, और ये दोनों की दोनों हम सेकंड जनरेशन सेफलोस्पोरेन में इंक्लूड करते हैं. वो इसलिए बिकॉज they have properties similar similar to the second generation cephalosporins. पीछे हमने बात की that second generation cephalosporins, more importantly cefuroxime, it is not active against Bacteroides fragilis, but they were active against H influenzae. यहाँ पे आप उल्टा कर लो, that cefamycin, they are active against Bacteroides fragilis and some Serratia strains, but they are less active against H influenzae. बाकी सारी सेकंड जनरेशन एच इन्फ्लुएंजा के अगेंस्ट काम करती है, ये काम नहीं करती, बट ये बैक्टीरिया फ्लैजेलेस के अगेंस्ट काम करती है, जिसके अगेंस्ट बाकी सेकंड जनरेशन काम नहीं कर रही होती. so this is the reverse and this is the exception of cefamycins to the second generation cephalosporins, and it's a very important point. And just like first generation cephalosporins, no member of this second generation class is active against enterococci. वो तो हमने बहुत पहले बात कर ली थी कि enterococci के अगेंस्ट तो हमें बहुत मुश्किल से क्यों मिलती है ये cephalosporin. सिर्फ एक एक्सेप्शन की बात की थी हमने, which was ceftaroline. And they are also not active against Pseudomonas aeruginosa. सेकंड जनरेशन नहीं एक्टिव होते. बाकी सारा वही है जी, काइनेटिक्स भी सेम है, ऑलमोस्ट फिल्टर्ड बाय किडनी एंड रेनल इंपेयरमेंट के पेशेंट के अंदर आपने इनको बड़ा केयरफुली देना होता है. Parenteral should be avoided. Why? Because they cause pain after the IM injection and they can also cause the phlebitis after the IV injection. Zinus cefuroxime, ये हमारे पास इंजेक्शन भी आता है, ये हमारे पास टैबलेट्स भी आती हैं. It is very good drug, Zinus. It is second generation, much more better than penicillins, much more better than first generation. पर अगर मैं अपनी बात करूं, अपनी प्रैक्टिस में मैं पेनिसिलिन बहुत कम प्रेस्क्राइब करता हूं, बहुत कम. बहुत ही कोई मिनिमल से इन्फेक्शन हो तो उसमें मैं पेनिसिलिन प्रेस्क्राइब करता हूं, बट यूजुअली आई प्रेस्क्राइब सेफलोस्पोरिन एंड आई ऑलवेज स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द सेकंड जनरेशन. आई स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द ज़ाइनसेफ, आई स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द सेफ्यूरॉक्सिन. इस मिनिमम यहाँ से स्टार्ट करता हूँ, डायरेक्टली थर्ड जनरेशन भी नहीं देता. ठीक है. द कॉमन प्रैक्टिस इज दैट the broad spectrum antibiotics, they should be reserved for the serious infections, because the frequent prescription of the third generation, the fourth generation, it can cause emergence of resistance. So they should be reserved for the serious infections. So second generation cephalosporins, they are very good agents whenever you are prescribing them against gram positive organisms and for few gram negative organisms which are listed in the slides. Some of the clinical uses of second generation are that they are active against beta-lactamase producing H influenzae or Moraxella catarrhalis, and they are also used to treat sinusitis, otitis, and lower respiratory tract infections. So ENT का infection हो, कोई ear, nose, throat का infection हो, which includes sinusitis, otitis mean infection of the ear, चाहे otitis media हो, otitis interna हो, they can be given precisely. They are very good agents because they are effective against H influenzae, beta-lactamase resistant organisms also. जैसे मैंने बात की, आप प्रैक्टिस में देखेंगे more and more people they prescribe the penicillins, but penicillins they are easily destroyed by the beta-lactamase producing H influenzae or the Moraxella catarrhalis. That's why second generation they are extremely good agents of choice while prescribing the initial antibiotic for the treatment of respiratory tract infections. हमने बात की थी कि दे आर एक्टिव अगेंस्ट बैक्टीरियोइड फ्लैजेलेस आल्सो. Cefoxitin, cefotatin, they can be used to treat mixed anaerobic infections such as peritonitis, diverticulitis, and pelvic inflammatory disease. These are the infections of the abdomen: peritonitis, diverticulitis, and pelvic inflammatory disease, which are usually caused by Bacteroides fragilis. हमने बात की थी डेट Bacteroides fragilis के अगेंस्ट हमारी ये सिफामाइसिन होती हैं, they are highly active, cefoxitin and cefotatin. Third generation, obviously बात है, the spectrum and the clinical effectiveness of these cephalosporin, it will be much more and it will be beyond the levels of first and second generation cephalosporins. बात करके देख लेते हैं क्या कुछ करती हैं ये. So let me read this slide for you. I will read it very slowly because it is extremely important slide. Compared with the second generation cephalosporins, these agents, they have expanded gram-negative coverage and some are able to cross the blood-brain barrier. सेकेंड जनरेशन तक हमने बात की थी डेट फर्स्ट जनरेशन बिल्कुल क्रॉस नहीं करते, सेकेंड जनरेशन कुछ क्रॉस करते हैं बट बहुत कम, क्लिनिकल इफेक्टिवनेस बहुत कम होती है. बट थर्ड जनरेशन majority of the agents, they can cross blood-brain barrier with good clinical outcome. They are highly effective against beta-lactamase producing strains of Haemophilus and Neisseria, and they are only not active against Enterobacter species, Serratia, Providentia, Acinetobacter, and Citrobacter. So these are some exceptions of the or some limitations of the third generation cephalosporins. Cefixime, cefidnir, ceftibuten, and cefpodoxime, they are oral agents which possess similar activity, except that cefixime and ceftibuten, they are much less active against pneumococci and they have poor activity against Staphylococcus aureus. यहाँ पे आपने एक पॉइंट नोट करना है, मुझे यहाँ मेंशन करना चाहिए था कि जैसे जैसे हम आगे जाते हैं सेफलोस्पोरिन में फर्स्ट, सेकंड, थर्ड, फोर्थ, तो ग्राम नेगेटिव कवरेज बढ़ती जाती है, ग्राम पॉजिटिव कवरेज कम होती जाती है. ये लास्ट लाइन में आपने अगर आप इसमें आप देखें लास्ट लाइन के अंदर, दे आर लेस एक्टिव अगेंस्ट न्यूमोकोकाई एंड हैव पुअर एक्टिविटी अगेंस्ट स्टेफिलोकोकस ऑरियस. ये पॉइंट ज़हन में रख लें आप. सेकेंड एंड थर्ड जनरेशन में ये बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है. सेकेंड जनरेशन दे आर इंपॉर्टेंट अगेंस्ट ग्राम पॉजिटिव ऑर्गेनिज्म एंड गुड एक्टिविटी अगेंस्ट ग्राम नेगेटिव, while third generation they have extremely expanded gram negative coverage, they can cross the blood-brain barrier, but they have less or poor activity against the gram positive organism. तो ये आपने ध्यान में रखना है कि आप किस ऑर्गेनिज्म के अगेंस्ट आप प्रेस्क्राइब कर रहे हैं. सेकंड थर्ड में ये थोड़ा सा डिफरेंस आ जाता है. Ceftazidime is the only agent with useful activity against Pseudomonas aeruginosa. This is one exception. Pseudomonas aeruginosa, it is anaerobe and it causes spontaneous bacterial peritonitis in patients who are suffering from ascites due to any reason. More commonly, ascites in our setup, it occurs due to the chronic liver disease, which causes portal hypertension and which ultimately causes ascites. अगर ascites में, अगर abdomen में जो fluid इकट्ठा हो गया उसमें कोई बैक्टीरियल इन्फेक्शन हो जाए तो उसे हम बोलते हैं स्पॉन्टेनियस बैक्टीरियल पेरिटोनाइटिस. एंड द मोस्ट कॉमनेस्ट ऑर्गेनिज्म इज Pseudomonas aeruginosa and drug of choice for this to treat is ceftazidime. बहुत ही अच्छी एंटीबायोटिक है ये. सेफ्ट्राइक्सोन. अब सेफ्ट्राइक्सोन जो है दो लोग ज्यादा प्रेस्क्राइब करते हैं, एक वो जिनको कुछ पता नहीं होता, एक वो जिनको बहुत अच्छा पता होता है. सेफ्ट्राइक्सोन, it has extremely broad spectrum. And due to its extensive broad spectrum, it is used as empirical therapy before the exact establishment of diagnosis. And due to its high broad spectrum, this drug is highly malprescribed. ऑक्सीडिल के नाम से आती है, बहुत नाम से आती है, बट सामी फार्मास्यूटिकल्स बनाती है इसको ऑक्सीडिल के नाम से. 250 मिलीग्राम, 500 मिलीग्राम, 1 ग्राम एंड 2 ग्राम IV इंजेक्शन में आती है ये. So depending upon the severity of infection, depending upon the bacteremia, the dose is adjusted. But undoubtedly it is extremely good antibiotic, very good antibiotic. मैंने पीछे बात की, पीछे की स्लाइड में, cephalosporins they cause pain at local intermuscular injection site, and cephalosporins they cause phlebitis. Phlebitis means inflammation of the vein whenever cephalosporins they are given by IV infusion. तो IM इंजेक्शन में पेन को मिनिमाइज करने के लिए हमने छोटा सा ट्रिक किया है. ट्रिक किया है जी डेट IM इंजेक्शन, अच्छा ये दोनों जो होते हैं ये सॉलिड क्रिस्टलाइन पाउडर फॉर्म में आते हैं और इनके साथ स्टील ऑयल फ्लूइड होता है. उस फ्लूइड को हम पाउडर फॉर्म वाली बॉटल में इंजेक्ट करते हैं, फिर उससे सोल्यूशन बन जाता है, उस सोल्यूशन को फिर हम पेशेंट में एडमिनिस्टर करते हैं। तो जो आईएम इंजेक्शन होता है ऑक्सीडिल का, द फ्लूइड दैट इट कंटेन इज नॉट द स्टीरॉयड वाटर और द स्टीरॉयड फ्लूइड, द फ्लूइड इज लाइडोकेन। लाइडोकेन इज व्हाट? लाइडोकेन इज द लोकल एनेस्थेटिक। तो उस लाइडोकेन के फ्लूइड के साथ हम प्रिपेयर करते हैं आईएम इंजेक्शन को, एंड व्हेन दिस oxidil injection is administered intramuscularly, then after the injection there is minimal chance of local irritation or local pain at the site of injection. So this is the beauty of oxidil IM injection, that it does not cause pain after the injection. Otherwise वहाँ आप सबने इंजेक्शन लगवाए होंगे लाइफ में, काफी पेन रहता है, even it persists for days, ठीक है। बट लाइडोकेन लग जाती है तो लोकल एनेस्थेटिक इफेक्ट आ जाता है जो पेन नहीं करने देता। So what are the clinical uses of third generation cephalosporin? They are, please focus करें slide पे, बहुत important slide है। They are used to treat a wide variety of serious infections which are caused by organisms that are resistant to most other drugs. You can say that this is the bailout drug, कि जहां बाकी एंटीबायोटिक्स थोड़ा बहुत फेल कर रही हो, आप वहां पे सेफ्ट्राक्सोन को या थर्ड जनरेशन सेफ्लोस्पोरिन को आप दे सकते हैं। नेचुरल लाइन पढ़ रहा हूँ जी, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, प्लीज pay very close attention. Ceftriaxone and cefotaxime, they are approved for treatment of meningitis. Why? Because they can cross the blood-brain barrier, and including the meningitis which is caused by Streptococcus pneumoniae, meningococci, H. influenzae, and susceptible enteric gram-negative rods. इतना अच्छा स्पेक्ट्रम है इसका, ये ग्राम नेगेटिव रॉड सारे नहीं, हमने पीछे बात की थी कि जो एंटेरिकोकाई हैं, जो ग्राम नेगेटिव रॉड्स होते हैं, they are least affected by the cephalosporins. But third generation cephalosporins, they have beauty that they cover up some gram negative rods, the ones which are sensitive to the action of ceftriaxone and cefotaxime. But the standard that Listeria monocytogenes, it is not covered by the even तो हमने यहाँ पे सिर्फ दो बातें की हैं, लिखा हुआ बहुत ज्यादा है लेकिन बातें सिर्फ काम किया दो हैं, that they are drug of choice for infections which are caused by organisms which are resistant to most of the drugs, and they are used to treat meningitis caused by many organisms. The next use is that they are used for agents of choice as empirical therapy of sepsis in immunocompetent and immunocompromised patients. ठीक है, आपको कोई डाउट हो, कोई आपको ये मतलब थोड़ा सा फील हो रहा हो कि जी सेप्सिस किसी पेशेंट में या किसी पर्सन में हो सकती है, एंड दैट पर्सन नीड्स एम्पेरिकल थेरेपी, देन यू कैन प्रिस्क्राइब थर्ड जनरेशन cephalosporins. And they are also used for treatment of infections for which cephalosporin is the least toxic drug available. So these are the few uses of third generation cephalosporin. In majority of cases, they are prescribed as what? Empirical agent. Cefspan, cefixime, one of my favorite. Whenever I need to prescribe the drug for good gram negative coverage, then cefixime is the drug of choice. It is orally available in syrup form, in कैप्सूल फॉर्म। एक्सट्रीम राइट पे हमारे पास कैप्सूल है सेफ्सपैन के नाम से, cefixime 400 milligram. It is extremely expensive antibiotic. One capsule of cefspan, it costs around 110 or 120 rupees. We have cefspan syrup, cefixime, cefspan DS. DS means double strength. Simple cefspan syrup, it contains 100 milligram cefixime per 5 ml, and DS contains 200 milligram cefixime per 5 ml. फोर्थ जनरेशन cephalosporin, अभी ये मतलब जो है ये completely हमारे पास कंप्लीट लिस्ट नहीं है इसकी. वी हैव ओनली वन एजेंट विच इज क्लिनिकली अवेलेबल. 2-3 एजेंट्स और भी हैं बट दे आर अंडर ट्रायल. सो ओनली वन अप्रूव्ड एजेंट बिलोंगिंग टू द क्लास ऑफ फोर्थ जनरेशन इज द सेफिपिन. अब जरा इसको गौर से पढ़ना है, बस खत्म कर रहे हैं, खत्म ही हो गया, अब लास्ट स्लाइड है तकरीबन. It has very good activity against Pseudomonas aeruginosa, Enterobacteriaceae, methicillin susceptible Staphylococcus aureus and Streptococcus pneumoniae. आप देख सकते हैं कि अब तक हम बात करते हैं कि एंटेरोबैक्टीरियासी, एंटेरोकोकाई, उनके अगेंस्ट एक्टिविटी नहीं होती, सेफलोस्पोरिन की मिनिमल होती है. तो थर्ड जनरेशन में एक्टिविटी स्टार्ट हुई थी. सम एंटेरोकोकाई which are sensitive to the third generation cephalosporin. फोर्थ में आके हमने बात कर दी कि all the enterococci, enterobacteriaceae, कि जो भी बैक्टीरिया एंटेरो ट्रैक में होते हैं, they are sensitive. थर्ड जनरेशन तक हम बात करते हैं that they are not active against Pseudomonas aeruginosa. फोर्थ में आके हमने बात कर दी that this agent is active against Pseudomonas aeruginosa. And these antibiotics, this cefepime, it is also highly active against Haemophilus and Neisseria species. It penetrates very well into the CSF and it is cleared by the kidneys. Unlike ceftazidime, cefepime has good activity against penicillin non-susceptible strains of streptococci, and it is useful for treatment of enterobacter infections. Because of its broad spectrum activity, cefepime is used empirically in patients presenting with febrile neutropenia in combination with other agents. Revise कर रहा हूँ, first two generations, they were extremely effective against gram-positive organisms, and second generation for very few gram-negative, third generation highly gram-negative coverage, very less gram-positive coverage, and fourth generation almost all the gram-negative coverage and very less ग्राम पॉजिटिव कवरेज. यहाँ पे देखो ग्राम पॉजिटिव सिर्फ एक आधा नाम है नाइसीरिया और मुझे कोई नजर नहीं आ रहा. सो जैसे जैसे हम आगे जाते हैं, पहले हमारा स्पेक्ट्रम ग्राम पॉजिटिव प्लस ग्राम नेगेटिव होता है, फिर मोर ग्राम नेगेटिव, देन ओनली ग्राम नेगेटिव एंड वेरी लेस ग्राम पॉजिटिव. So cephalosporin, which is active against methicillin resistant Staphylococcus, it is the ceftaroline, only one agent, ceftaroline. We combine it is not penicillin, it is cephalosporins. Cephalosporins combined with beta-lactamase inhibitors. For wider spectrum and for wider coverage of organism, we combine cephalosporins with certain beta-lactamase inhibitors. For example, ceftazidime is combined with avibactam, and ceftolozane, it is combined with tazobactam. One example is injection twosome, in which you can see that cefoperazone is combined with the sulbactam for extended coverage. Adverse effects. Allergy. Just like the penicillins, they can cause allergy. For example, they can cause rash, they can cause skin irritation, they can cause neutropenia, they can cause serum sickness like reaction, for example, fever, joint pain, arthralgias, neutropenias, hemolytic anemia, interstitial nephritis, even anaphylactic shock. So the allergic reactions, they are quite similar to the penicillins, whereas additionally they can cause local pain at the site of IM injection and thrombophlebitis due to IV injection. तो ये इसकी limitation है. Then they can cause hypoprothrombinemia and disulfiram like reaction. इन दोनों को मैंने रेड में हाईलाइट किया हुआ है because these two adverse effects, they are not caused by all the penicillin. Chemical group in their structure, उसका नाम मुझे इस वक्त याद नहीं आ रहा, methyl कुछ इस वक्त. So some cephalosporins, they cause in the levels of prothrombin. Prothrombin, आपको पता है, prothrombin is important because it's thrombin for coagulation. So if there will be decrease in the levels of prothrombin, then there will be bleeding tendencies in the person. उनको bleeding start हो जानी है nose से, oral cavity से, eyes से, ears से, skin के अंदर bleeding start हो जानी है. So because of the low levels of prothrombin, and they can also cause a disulfiram like reaction. Disulfiram like reaction आप लोगों को पता ही होगा. You must have read it in the metabolism of alcohol. इसको मैं थोड़ा revise कर देता हूँ. As you can see that ethanol, it is converted into the acetaldehyde by the enzyme alcohol dehydrogenase, and this acetaldehyde, it is further converted into the acetate. So this conversion of acetaldehyde into acetate, it is dependent upon the enzyme aldehyde dehydrogenase, and this aldehyde dehydrogenase, it can be blocked by a special drug which is called disulfiram. So there are few other drugs which can block the aldehyde dehydrogenase enzyme just like the disulfiram. So that's why the reaction which, so whenever we give the disulfiram like whenever we give the drug disulfiram to any person, then the conversion of acetaldehyde into acetate, it is blocked. There is more and more accumulation of acetaldehyde in persons who are alcoholic and taking the ethanol. हर बंदे में रिएक्शन नहीं होता, सिर्फ अल्कोहलिक्स में होता है जो कि एथेनॉल ले रहे होते हैं. उन अल्कोहलिक्स को जब हम डाइसल्फाम ड्रग देते हैं तो मेटाबॉलिज्म बीच में रुक जाता है, and there is more and more accumulation of acetaldehyde, and this acetaldehyde accumulation, it causes serious reactions in the person. For example, palpitation, hypotension, tachycardia, sweating, irritability, restlessness. So these are the effects which are produced by the high accumulation of the acetaldehyde. तो ये जो सारा काम है कर रही होती है डाइसल्फाम. तो कोई भी ऐसी ड्रग जो यही काम करेगी, that is it will block the enzyme aldehyde dehydrogenase just like the disulfiram, then we will say that this drug, it depicts the disulfiram like reaction. So we have a very small list of drugs which can cause disulfiram like reaction. For example, cephalosporins, not all cephalosporins, very few: cefamendol, cefoperazone, cefotatin, and moxilactam. Chloral hydrate, which is the sedative drug. Disulfiram itself, metronidazole, बाद में पढ़ेंगे, and sulfonylureas, which are used to treat diabetes, but not all the sulfonylureas, only chlorpropamide. So these are the drugs which act just like the disulfiram, and they induce the disulfiram like reaction, and they are called the drugs producing the disulfiram like reaction. So we are done with today's discussion. Lecture थोड़ा सा dry है but इतना difficult नहीं है, ठीक है. Tomorrow we will start monobactam inshallah, and tomorrow we will finish the cell wall synthesis inhibitors as a whole. अब थोड़ा सा रह गया 30-40 minutes का lecture. Any question so far you can ask. If you have any question you can ask, otherwise we can sign off. Okay, मैं आपके mic unmute तो नहीं कर देता, आपको option देता हूँ, you can unmute your mic yourself. Yes, Wes Asif, you can unmute.
सर आपने कहा थर्ड जनरेशन जो इसकी सेफेलोस्पोरिन्स हैं, ग्राम नेगेटिव की उनका स्पेक्ट्रम ज्यादा है और ग्राम पॉजिटिव का कम है, तो अपर रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक इन्फेक्शन में हम इनको कम प्रेस्क्राइब कर सकते हैं क्योंकि मोस्टली वो ग्राम पॉजिटिव होते हैं.
हम इनको कम प्रेस्क्राइब कर सकते हैं, कह सकते हो कैप्टन, टू सम एक्सटेंट. upper respiratory tract infection के अंदर जो more commonly और more suitable drug है, that is second generation cephalosporin, because they have good coverage against gram positive organisms. एक ये limitation है. दूसरा third generation gram negative coverage उनकी बिल्कुल वाकई बहुत अच्छी है, but H influenza against coverage उनकी थोड़ी कम है. In my opinion, we should start with second generation. If second generation does not respond, then go for the IV third generation. अच्छा, आगे और भी हमारे पास बहुत सी ड्रग्स आएंगी. मैक्रोलाइड्स हैं हमारे पास, वो भी हम दे सकते हैं. हमारे पास फिर दूसरी भी ड्रग्स हैं इसके अलावा, टेट्रासाइक्लिन्स हैं, मैक्रोलाइड्स हैं, क्लोरामफेनिकोल है, अमाइनोग्लाइकोसाइड्स हैं, बहुत कुछ आगे आ जाता है, ठीक है. वी विल समराइज द ट्रीटमेंट ऑप्शन एट द एंड ऑफ एंटीबैक्टीरियल ड्रग्स, but for the time being you can say that we can prescribe second generation and we can switch towards third generation afterwards. Any other question? No question? Okay. ठीक है जी, good luck. अच्छे से इसको पढ़िएगा. Cephalosporin, they are extremely important. They are much more important than penicillins. So I would expect कि आप cephalosporins को ही ज़्यादा prescribe करें wherever it is needed. Penicillins should be reserved for less serious infections. Okay जी, good luck and Allah Hafiz.